Welcome to C-Fan Sports, the channel that is dedicated to the nation of Seattle sports fans. My name is Dave. This is Kevin. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm awesome. It's a wonderful evening, and I'm ready to go.
Welcome to Mariner Weekly.
Welcome.
Last time we met, Kevin,
it was
I were a little down,
a
little under
down.
the weather,
a lot down.
A lot down. We are looking like two kids that got lumps of coal for Christmas. We did. That's what we look like, just like. And then the next week, we come rolling in. We're sweeping teams. We're like, we don't care. We don't care.
Oh,
exactly, Kevin. Things we're looking. And at the end of every episode, Kevin, I always ask you, are we buyers or are we sellers? And you always say to me, Kevin, you always say we're buyers.
We're buyers.
But I'm going to stop asking you that question. Even though I said I was going to continue to ask you that question, I'm going to stop asking. Because from now on, instead of being a seller or a buyer, I think are we going to be sellers? Or are we going to be extenders? Now, what do I mean by extenders? Are we going to extend Mitch Haniger? Or are we going to trade Mitch Hanniger? Because it's starting to come down to being one of those two choices. We're going to either extend him and he'll be a Mariner and he'll be part of the Mint collection, or we're going to be selling and he's going to be moving on. It's going to be, we sell and we trade Mitch Hanniger now, but if we don't do anything, if we just stay pat and let this season play out, he's gone. So either we're going to sign him to an extension and we're going to make him a cornerstone in right field, or we're going to go ahead and trade him. I mean, the options are not limitless here. Unfortunately, we only have one of two options, and we're 1/3 of the way through the season this year. So are we buying, selling, or extending? And buying to me is, I don't know if we're going to be buyers right now, but Kevin, what do you think? Give me your opinions.
Well, I'm dumbfounded. Of course we're buyers. Of course we're extenders.
You're liking extending. You want to extend Mitch Haniger tomorrow.
I'm a Mitch Haniger fan. And the reason why is because he's steady Eddie. He is just a guy that goes out and plays. He plays hard. He's solid. I mean, he's leading the team in batting average, home runs. I mean, how do you not? I get that Jared Kelenic could be in the future a superstar, which we all believe he's going to be. I believe Kyle Lewis is going to be a superstar. I believe Julio Rodriguez is going to be a superstar. So what are you going to do with them at that point? But I don't know if those guys are quite ready. And how long is it going to take for those guys to be ready? Is it going to?
What you're saying? So what you're saying is that we're going to have a chance at the World Series this year.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know if we have a chance at the World Series this year, but I do believe we do next year.
Okay.
And so why would we get rid of one of our guys that can lead us to the World Series next year and not extend him, 3 to 5 years? Because I don't know if he'll be here in 5 years. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he'll be here in 3 years. But right now, he is our team. Him and Ty France. I mean, that's it.
I don't know, Kevin. Here's the thing.
On the offensive side, anyways.
On the offensive side, I agree with everything that you're saying for the most part. But what I don't agree with is the fact that we're gonna challenge for World Series this season or next season. I think that we are 3 seasons away from challenging for a World Series. And I think the haul that we can get back from Mitch Haniger now, unless we're going to move him to DH and play him occasionally in the outfield. And don't get me wrong, I love me some Mitch Haniger. Got his bobblehead right here. Love me some Mitch. But the simple fact is, Kevin, that we have to, again, be realistic and understand this team is a few steps away from a rebuild from finishing this rebuild process and being contenders in the AL West. And with that, you've got to, unless we're going to go out and we're going to dump all kinds of money into this team and bring in, free agents or trade some of the draft picks that we have, prospects that we have, then in my eyes, we should be sellers and let our Kelnicks, let our Taylor Trammell's, let our Kyle Lewis's, let our Evan Whites go through the lumps of this season. Because if you go in the Wayback Machine and you look at how the Astros did it,
Yeah,
that's what they did.
I agree with that. I understand that. And you have to look at every option you got. You have to look at any trade offers. And we've talked about this. I'm open to look at offers, but I'm not willing to give them up. To me, Mitch Haniger is Jay Buhner, just a solid guy. Not really, the home run threat that Jay was, but he doesn't strike out as much as Jay did. He's solid in the outfield, better athlete. He's a good base runner. There's so much upside still with Mitch. He's still young. He's not in the early 20s, but he's not even 30 years old yet.
So, but Kevin, Jay Buhner had to have the kid next to him.
Correct. And you got Kyle Lewis, you got Jared Kelnick. Why? I mean, I get it. I mean, Julio Rodriguez, in my opinion, is a superstar in the works. But how long is he? 1 year out, 2 years out?
That's why I said, Kevin, I think we're looking at 3 years.
And be honest with you, I like Taylor Trammell, but I never thought he was going to be a long-term Mariner. I think he is.
So what you're saying is that we should trade Taylor.
What's that?
We should trade Taylor.
I'm not saying we should trade him, but he's going to be a trade chip, in my opinion. I think the guy's an amazing ball player, and I think he's a really good guy, but I've never really thought he was going to be part of the Three Amigos, the Mint collection, because
whatever I want to call him.
Yeah, it's always been about the Kyle Lewis, Jared Kelnick, Julio Rodriguez. It's never been about Taylor Trammell. Taylor's a great outfielder, but he's never been, in my opinion, a long-term projection.
Okay.
I think Mitch Haniger could move. He could move to DH and could
first base.
Well, I don't think first base, but he could move to DH and he could spell each one of the outfielders to give him a break because he could play all three positions.
I don't know if he could play center. I don't think he has the range to play center.
He played center for a couple of years.
Well, I know, but that was before he took the ball to the.
You can move Jared Kelnick over to center field and let him play that position. And I actually believe that Jared should be in center field, not Kyle Lewis, because of the fact, Jared is the center fielder. He was brought up as a center fielder. The guy has the range. He has talent.
I don't think he has the arm. I don't think he has the arm that Kyle Lewis has.
Maybe not. But right now, Kyle Lewis keeps injuring himself. And is he going to be your everyday center fielder? Mm-hmm. He might be one of those guys that can't play center field very long because of the fact that he's being injured too much. So I'm not a seller, and I am an extender.
You're an extender.
I want to keep Mitch Haniger any way we can.
Kevin doesn't want to give any of his toys away. I don't know whether you believe you're on Kevin's side and want to keep all your toys here, or on my side where I'm willy-nilly throwing prospects into the wind. Little Mitch Haniger here, a little Taylor Trammell there. The the question is, who do you agree with? Agree with Kevin? You agree with Dave? Do you want to keep him like Kevin, or do a little bit of a fire sale and try to bring in more prospects like me? Kevin, let's flip the script. Now, we had some good pitching performances this week, but we're still not really high up on the ERA list.
No.
Kevin, the Bulldogs back on the mound tonight. Are things looking up for us from the pitching staff, Kevin?
I think the pitching staff looked really good. The starting crew did. You mentioned it earlier, not in the podcast, but earlier when we were talking, Chris Flexen. Wow.
I need to come up. That is my new mission in life, is to come up with a cool nickname for Chris Flexen.
He's surprised me all year. He's been better than advertised, in my opinion. And once again, YK, man, that was an amazing, amazing game he pitched. Logan Gilbert last night. 80 pitches, 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, 5 strikeouts. Should have been 6. We both
should have been 6.
He
You're out there, umpire. It should have been 6.
He averaged 95 miles an hour on his 54 fastballs he threw last night. I mean, that was a great performance. We need that performance. And then we got Marco on the hill again tonight, like you said. So I think things are looking great for the starting crew. I think if we can get Graveman back and Middleton back to the way he was and Will Vest back, I think we got the pitching. Our ERA, I think total team ERA was what, 4.33 right now, which is
19th, isn't it?
19th overall. Yeah. We're second to last in strikeouts. I'd like to see a few more of those. But
Kevin, the question to me is, how does a team with the lowest batting average in the league, the 19th ERA in the league, how are we one game above 500? What are we doing right, Kevin? I'm just trying to figure that out.
I think we're having situational hitting that is allowing us to score enough runs to be competitive. I think our starting pitching is competitive enough to keep us in games for the most part. And I think our bullpen has been better than advertised. We've struggled a little bit lately, but I mean, it's been lights out sometimes in that bullpen. So when we have a lead, we're not letting go of it as often as a lot of other teams are.
Either that, or we can look at the San Diego Padres and tell them thank you for our low ERA, because they certainly contributed to that. I mean, 2 touchdowns and a safety. That's what we got from,
pretty much
from the Padres. I thought the Chargers were on the field. But the simple fact is, Kevin, I think we're looking good in the phases that we need to start to improve in. I think another starting pitcher would be nice coming close to the deadline. If we're truly going to say that we're buyers, I think a starting pitcher, would be something, maybe a Jamie Moyer type guy that's really going to work on painting the edges and slowing the pitches down, so that when we get into a series, you got Marco coming up one week, or excuse me, one day, and Kikuchi, and then we slide in a Jamie Moyer type of a guy that's going to, keep them on their toes a little bit. Kevin, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I prefer not to see another Jamie Moyer type. Chris Flexen's not the fastest thrower. Marco's not the fastest thrower. YK's looked really well. I think Logan Gilbert's going to be more of a strikeout guy. I would like to see another strikeout guy come up or pick up another strikeout guy. Somebody can throw some heat. That's what I would prefer to see. No offense to the other style. I think, Dunn's doing very well.
Get her done.
His last game was good. I think Justice Sheffield, I think we got some solid pitching right now.
Right.
We need some more bullpen help because they've been just plagued with injury.
And COVID.
And COVID, yeah.
Injury and COVID.
I think, I'm okay with our pitching. I would like to pick up another ace. Who wouldn't? I mean, that would be the obviously answer. I really would like to pick up somebody that can hit the ball and hit over 300.
Now you're just talking crazy, Kevin.
I know that would be my dream. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we
don't want to wake Kevin up, because who knows what'll happen.
It surprised me. We're number 15. We're middle of the pack in home runs with 61.
There we go.
We're number 15, middle of the pack again, with base on balls. So walks, we've had 172 walks. We are number 8 in strikeouts, which really surprised me. I thought we'd be higher than that, because we've seemed to strike out a lot, but we're number 8 in strikeouts. We're tied for 8.
Well, there we go.
We're dead last in batting average, you talked about. We're number 12 in the league in doubles. So when we hit extra bases, we do pretty well.
Good things happen.
We're in the top half of the teams in extra bases. So if we could find a couple more, at least one more really good bat, I would be excited. That would also bring me to my next topic.
Yes,
is we need to bring up Cal Riley.
Oof. So we're gonna spin through the minors a little bit here. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, no, we're gonna talk about the minors in a little bit. But
okay, you're thinking that you don't think that Tom Murphy or the G-man is getting her done.
No, Tom Murphy had the walk off sacrifice fly, last night. which was exciting. I mean, good for him. I mean, I'm all excited about that. We're just not getting any consistency from our pitching, our catching. And we talked about it 2 weeks ago. We need catchers. We can't
Right.
have under 100 or 200 batting averages for our catchers. We just can't. I don't know what they want to do, but we need to do something with our catching. We need to get rid of or figure out how to get rid of our 5 guys under 200 batting average. We
Kevin,
can't
the
win.
whole league is batting average is lower right now.
The whole league's batting average is lower, but ours is, we're the worst.
Well, you know, Kevin, you got to be good at something. So we're good at being bad.
I'm tired of being the worst in our batting average. I want a bat. And I think Cal Raleigh is a step in the right direction. And he's going to struggle. We know he's going to struggle, but so are the other guys. So what? Let him play. Bring him up. Let's let him play. And I know
you want to dip into our farm system and bring him up.
And I do. And I know that I did read an article that Jerry DePoto had talked about Cal Riley, because he is doing very well in AAA right now. And they're still mentioning the same thing. He's still working on his defense.
His defense can't be any worse than Torrance.
It can't be any worse than anybody's right now. I mean,
right.
I'm just tired of under 200 batting average. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm done with that point. We'll talk about the minors a little bit later.
The Mendoza line is where Kevin is drawing the line. That's where he wants our hitters.
Above
Mendoza line. Above it. That would be pretty nice.
Yeah.
So Kevin, let's take a spin. The minor leagues. Tell us a little bit about Tacoma. Where are we at with the Rainiers right now?
Well, Taylor Trammell came up today because Kyle Lewis went on the IL for the meniscus or whatever you want to call it.
Soreness in his knee. Let's just, because we're not doctors, we're going to say soreness in his knee.
You know, he was tearing it up in AAA, but last week he went 1 for 4, 0 for 3, 1 for 5, 2 for 5, 0 for 5, 2 for 5 with a 222 batting average last week. That's
above
not
the Mendoza lines, Kevin.
I know.
Just ask for above. I mean, what more do you want?
6 for 27 last week. I was not impressed. Although our buddy Cal Riley, 12 for 21 last week, the 571 batting average last week. He was 1 for 3, 1 for 3, 3 for 4, 2 for 4, 2 for 5, 3 for 6, 2 base on balls, and a hit batter. Okay. He had a productive week.
Sure did.
So I'm just saying, he's on fire. Let's bring him up.
So the Rainiers, how was the week? How did we do?
We won 3 games, lost 3 games. We're pretty much
500.
500.
There we go.
Same as our big league. We're 1 game above 500.
Shall we head to Arkansas now?
Sure. Arkansas. The only 2 people that we talked about with the Arkansas Travelers. They won 1 game this week and lost 5.
Oof.
So they ran into a buzzsaw somewhere. But Jake Shiner, the second baseman, we talked about last week because he was tearing it up. He batted 2 for 22 last week. So an 091 batting average for the week.
Ooh, curse the C-Fan Sports.
Yeah, those 2 hits were home runs, though.
There we go.
So that was a good thing. Ian McKinney, the pitcher for the Travelers, the one that has doing very, very well. He's through 6 innings. It was a no decision and 8 more strikeouts. His ERA is under 1.3. I wrote it down, but I can't find it. So
there we go. Nothing but professionalism here at C-Fan Sports.
Nothing. We're on. We got it all.
We're gluttonous cretins. And Kevin, how about now? Julio's there, right?
No, Julio's not there. Oh. Julio's still in Everett. Well, technically, he's with Dominican Republic.
That's right. I knew that.
Baseball.
I was testing you, Kevin.
Yeah. So Julio still was in 3 games last week before he went to play.
Well, should we talk about the Everett Aqua Sox since I brought it up, Kevin?
Let's do it. We had 3
All
wins,
right.
3 wins, 3 losses. 500 last week.
500. I see a theme here. Only Arkansas is bringing us down.
So Julio played in 3 games. He kind of came out in the middle of the 3rd game. He went 3 for 4, 1 for 5, and 1 for 2. So he's 5 for 11 with a 454 batting average in the 3 games he played. He's still killing it. It won't. I'm sure he's going to be Kansas here when he comes back.
Gotcha.
All
right.
Well, I got two more here.
Okay.
James Larson, we talked about last week, center fielder. He went 5 for 17 with a 294 batting average. Joseph Rosa went 4 for 19, and he was batting over 300, which is now under 300 because he batted 210 last week. So he didn't do very well.
Okay.
And then the Nuts.
D's?
The Nuts, yes.
Yes.
D's. Four wins, 2 losses. Novel Marte, he went
He went
5. He went
write that down.
5 for 20. I didn't write it down. 5 for 20 for 250 batting average last week.
Gotcha.
Not too exciting. Justin Levy, who is a second baseman that was tearing it up, he batted 200 last week. Not doing well.
Came back down to earth.
He came back down to earth. Our center fielder, Victor Labata, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Labata.
Yeah, he batted 318 last week.
Okay.
So he did very well.
So basically we had one of our minor league teams do well, one do poor, and 2 just meh, right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Well, Kevin, that pretty much concludes Mariner Weekly this week. How about we do it again next week, Kevin?
Let's do it.
All right. Again, if you have any questions, leave it down below. Comments, leave it down below. Please subscribe. Tell Kevin he's doing a great job. Me, not so much, but that's all right. All right, you guys. Peace out. Go M's.